Good morning, students. This session is for class 12th. Students, in last session we have completed the study about the magnetic properties of materials like diamagnetic, paramagnetic, and ferromagnetic. Today we are going to study the topic EMI and AC, and we will start with the first topic, that is magnetic flux. So, students, we have already completed the topic, that is electric flux in electrostatics. So this topic is very similar to the electric flux. You can revise electric flux. uh, it will help you to understand the concept of magnetic flux. Okay, so let's see what is magnetic flux. So you can see the definition written here. The total number of magnetic field lines of force passing normally through an area placed in magnetic field is equal to the magnetic flux linked with that area. So this one is the definition. So you can see this one is the area. Suppose this one is area and this one is area vector dA. Now the magnetic field makes an angle theta with area vector dA. So the total number of magnetic field lines passing through this area perpendicular to the surface is known as magnetic flux. Okay, so in this case you can see that this magnetic field line is not perpendicular to the surface. It means it is not in the direction of the area vector. So in this case we can find out this magnetic flux by dot product of this dA and this B, or you can say with product this dA and the component of this magnetic field perpendicular to the surface, that is B cos theta. So for this purpose we can write mathematical equation for magnetic flux like this: net flux through the surface, that is phi. Flux is denoted by phi, so phi is equal to closed integral, because these relations are true for the closed integrals, closed surface. Okay, closed surface means you can say closed loop like structure, so like circle, like rectangle. I'm not talking about the closed that is sphere only. So here you can see this is the closed integral. So B dot dA is equal to B A cos theta. If B is constant, then closed integral of dA will give you the total area of this closed loop. So this B A and this is cos theta. So you can see here this is the area and then B cos theta is the magnitude of B perpendicular to this surface. Okay, so for maximum and minimum value of the flux you can choose the angle. You can see here theta is angle between area vector and magnetic field vector. So if theta is 0, then flux will be maximum, because in this case this B is in the same direction of the dA. Now if theta is 90°, then phi is equal to 0. This shows that in this case this B is perpendicular to this area vector. It means there is no flux passing through this rectangular area taken in this case. Okay, now let's see unit and dimension of the magnetic flux. So you can see here magnetic flux is a scalar quantity because it does not have its own direction, so it is scalar and it does not follow Vector's law of addition. So this one is scalar quantity. Now its SI unit is Weber, same as for electric flux. CGS unit is Maxwell or Gauss centimeter square. So you can use either Maxwell in CGS system or you can say Gauss centimeter square. Okay, so 1 Weber is equal to 10 to the power 8 Maxwell. This is very important relation, you must remember this. This is the relation between CGS and this one is CGS, this one is MKS. So this is relation between MKS and CGS unit of the Weber, same as we have studied in different conditions like Joule and erg, then Newton and dyne, etc. So these are the similar relations. Okay. We can discuss about the other units of this magnetic flux. So you can see the other unit of magnetic flux is Tesla meter square. Since you know that the unit of magnetic field intensity, magnetic flux density is, this is Tesla, and then area is meter square. So you can write like this, Tesla meter square, or you can change this into Newton meter per ampere, or you can write joule per ampere, or you can write volt into coulomb per ampere, or you can write volt into second. Then volt can be written as ohm into coulomb or Henry into ampere. So these are the units of this magnetic flux. You can write the answers in any one format. Okay, you can choose any one according to your convenience. But the dimensional formula must have only one value, and that is ml squared t to the power minus 2 a to the power minus 1. So you can find out the dimensional formula by using this equation. It will help you and it will be easy for you, because you know you are very familiar to the Newton meter ampere. So you can take help from this relation and you will get the dimensional formula for magnetic flux. Let us now discuss about the Faraday law of EMI. So you can see here, this one is the Faraday law. So let us discuss the statement of Faraday's law of EMI. So this one is the first law. Whenever the number of magnetic lines of force, that is magnetic flux, passing through a circuit changes, and EMF is produced in the circuit is called induced EMF. तो यहाँ पे देखिए ये क्या बोल रहा है, जो स्टेटमेंट है, whenever the number of magnetic field lines of force, that is magnetic flux. It means we are talking about the magnetic flux passing through a circuit changes, and EMF is produced in the circuit and called induced EMF. Means whenever, जब कभी भी किसी सर्किट से रिलेटेड मैग्नेटिक फ्लक्स चेंज होता है तो उस सर्किट में एक EMF प्रोड्यूस हो जाता है, जिसको इंड्यूस्ड EMF कहते हैं. सो यू कैन repeat this statement, or you can read this by 2, 3, 4 times, so you can get the deep conclusion of this statement, and that is whenever the number of magnetic field lines of force, that is magnetic flux, passing through a circuit changes. So it means we can say that whenever the magnetic flux through a circuit is changes, an induced EMF is produced in the circuit and is called induced EMF. Okay, now the induced EMF persists only as long as there is change or cutting of flux. So इसका मीनिंग है कि ये जो इंड्यूस्ड EMF है ये सर्किट में सिर्फ तब तक ही रहता है जब तक कि यहाँ पे फ्लक्स चेंज होता रहता है या फिर कट होता रहता है. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे दो चीज़ें हैं. तो यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं आप, अगर टोटल कंक्लूजन की बात करें इस स्टेटमेंट की, तो टोटल कंक्लूजन यही है कि इफ़ यू हैव अ सर्किट एंड देयर इज चेंज इन मैग्नेटिक फ्लक्स थ्रू दैट सर्किट, then there will be an EMF in the circuit, and that EMF is known as induced EMF. But that EMF, that is means induced EMF, persists only as long as there is change in flux. मतलब उस सर्किट में जो इंड्यूस्ड EMF है वो तब तक ही रहता है जब तक उस सर्किट से जो पास होने वाला जो फ्लक्स है वो चेंज होता रहता है या फिर कट होता रहता है. तो यहाँ पे ये वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट है कि अगर किसी सर्किट से रिलेटेड फ्लक्स चेंज हो रहा है तो इसका मतलब उस सर्किट में एक इंड्यूस्ड ईएमएफ डेवलप हो जाएगा, और वो ईएमएफ सर्किट में तब तक ही रहेगा जब तक कि उस सर्किट में फ्लक्स चेंज होता रहेगा। ओके, सो आई होप कि आपको फर्स्ट लॉ समझ में आ गया है। अब देखते हैं सेकेंड लॉ क्या है। द इंड्यूस्ड ईएमएफ इज गिवन बाय रेट ऑफ चेंज ऑफ मैग्नेटिक फ्लक्स लिंक्ड विद द सर्किट। तो यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं जो इंड्यूस्ड ईएमएफ है उसका जो मैग्नीट्यूड की अगर हम बात करें तो उसके मैग्नीट्यूड के लिए हम एक रिलेशन फाइंड आउट कर सकते हैं, और उसके लिए जो स्टेटमेंट है वो है द इंड्यूस्ड ईएमएफ इज गिवन बाय रेट ऑफ चेंज ऑफ मैग्नेटिक फ्लक्स लिंक्ड विद द सर्किट। तो यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं ये है इंड्यूस्ड ईएमएफ, स्मॉल ई से रिप्रेजेंटेड है, और ये क्या है, नेगेटिव रेट ऑफ डी फाइव बाई डी टी के इक्वल है यहाँ पे। तो ये है सेकेंड लॉ, ठीक है, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट लॉ है। सो यू कैन सी द इंड्यूस्ड ईएमएफ इज गिवन बाय रेट ऑफ चेंज ऑफ मैग्नेटिक फ्लक्स लिंक्ड विद द सर्किट एंड दैट इज इक्वल टू माइनस डी फाइव बाई डी टी। फॉर n turns you can write E is equal to minus n d phi by dt. So if the coil contains n number of turns you can write E is equal to minus n d phi by dt, where negative sign indicates that induced EMF E opposes the change in flux. यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं what is meaning of this negative sign here. So this negative sign indicates that the induced EMF E opposes the change of flux. तो यहाँ पे जो EMF होता है, जो इंड्यूस्ड EMF डेवलप होता है, ये फ्लक्स में चेंज को अपोज करता है, मतलब ये नहीं चाहता है कि यहाँ पे फ्लक्स चेंज हो। फॉर दिस वी विल स्टडी द लेंजेस लॉ इन नेक्स्ट पार्ट ऑफ दिस वीडियो। ओके, सो फर्स्ट लेट मी रिपीट द स्टेटमेंट, दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट स्टेटमेंट to solve numerical problems, because numericals of this chapter is based on these type of equations. If you know flux, or you can replace this phi by b into a, so you can use this formula in different ways and you can solve the questions of this chapter. Okay, so try to understand the importance of the second law of Faraday. And this is the induced EMF is given by the rate of change of magnetic flux linked with the circuit, that is E is equal to minus d phi by dt. For n turns coil it is E is equal to minus n d phi by dt. Okay, negative sign indicates that induced EMF E opposes the change of flux. So this is the importance of the negative sign. Now you can see here the induced current I is equal to E upon R. Okay, since we know that I is equal to V upon R, but here V, that is potential difference, is replaced by the induced EMF. It means induced EMF plays the same role of the potential difference. Okay, so you can replace the V by induced EMF, then you can write E is equal to minus d phi by dt. For 1 turns coil, if there is n turns, you can write minus n d phi by dt. So this one is the current in this loop. Now if you want to find out the induced charge, then since you know that dq is equal to I into dt. Okay, so you can substitute the value of I from the previous equation in this equation. So you will get minus n upon R into d phi, because this dt is cancelled by this dt. Okay, so this dq is equal to minus n R into d phi. You can substitute this value of current in this equation and you will get minus n by R d phi. This shows that induced charge is time independent. You can see here, this is very important. Induced charge is independent of time. Next one is induced power. So students, you know that the power is defined like this: V square upon R. In current electricity we have studied this formula, power is equal to V square upon R, but you can replace that V by induced EMF. Okay, so you can write P is equal to E square upon R. Okay, now you can replace this E, or you can substitute the value of E, and you will get N square upon R into d phi by dt whole square. So you can see it depends on the time and resistance. So you can see it is dependent upon time and resistance. Okay, so you can see these are the very important point, that is about induced current, induced charge, and induced power. This is very important, and that is related to the Faraday law. Students must understand the second law of Faraday. It will help you to understand and solve many questions, numerical problems, and these things you can see here at every part. E is equal to minus n d phi by dt is used here. Okay, now we are going to study the various methods of producing induced EMF. So we have many methods by which we can produce induced EMF in a circuit. So let's see that methods. We have learned that EMF is induced in a circuit whenever the amount of magnetic flux linked with the circuit is changed. So since we know that, and the meaning of the statement is, we know that if there is change in a magnetic flux linked with the circuit, then there must be induced EMF. If there is no change, there is no induced EMF. So it means induced EMF remains in the circuit till there is changing in magnetic flux continuously. If we stop the changing magnetic flux, there will not be any induced EMF. So you can see here, as phi is equal to BA cos theta, this is the equation of the magnetic flux. Okay, so the magnetic flux phi can be changed by changing B or A or theta. So you can see this magnetic flux is dependent upon the following quantities. First one is the magnetic field intensity, second one is area, and third one is the angle. So the magnetic flux phi can be changed by changing B, A or theta. Hence there are three methods of producing induced EMF. So you can see we have three methods by which we can produce induced EMF. First one is by changing the magnitude of magnetic field B. So you can produce EMF by changing the magnitude of magnetic field. Then second, by changing the area, or by shrinking or stretching or changing the shape of coil. So you can see here, by changing area you can change the induced EMF in this circuit. Third point is by changing angle theta between the direction of B and normal to the surface area A, that is changing the relative orientation of the surface area and magnetic field. So it means you can develop induced EMF in a circuit by changing three quantities. First one is the magnetic field, second one is by changing, means increasing or decreasing, area of the loop or the circuit, and third one is by changing relative orientation, it means the angle between the area vector and the magnetic field. So by these three methods you can induced EMF in a circuit. Okay, now let us study the Lenge's law. This one is very important and it will give you the direction of induced EMF and induced current. Okay, so this law is very important to understand the concept of direction of induced EMF in a circuit and induced current. Okay, so let us understand. This law gives the direction of induced EMF, induced current, means induced EMF and induced current. So this is the physical meaning of this law. This is very important. You can say this is importance of this law. Now According to this law, the direction of induced EMF or current in a circuit is such as to oppose the cause of produces it. This law is based upon the law of conservation of energy. So you can see the direction of the induced EMF or current is such that it always opposes the cause by which it produces itself. So it is very important. You can say ये उसी कॉज को अपोज करता है जिस कॉज से ये जनरेट होता है या प्रोड्यूस होता है. ओके, सो इन सिंपली यू कैन राइट अकॉर्डिंग टू लेंजेस लॉ the direction of induced EMF is such that it opposes the cause by which it produces itself. So this is very interesting law. Okay, and this law is based on the law of conservation of energy. This statement is very important and you must remember this one is, that is, the Lenge's law is based on the law of conservation of energy. So let's see how energy is conserved in this process. So you can see an observer here. This one is the bar magnet with north and south poles. You can see north and south pole. It is moving with velocity v towards a towards a circular loop. Okay, so let's see what happened in this case. You can see the north pole is moving toward the coil. So when north pole of bar magnet move towards the coil, the flux associated with the loop increases and an EMF is induced in it. Since the circuit of loop is closed, induced current also flow in it. So you can see here, as this north pole is moving toward this coil, then there is increase in flux by increasing the magnetic field. Okay, if you move this north pole toward the ring, then the number of lines passing through this loop is increases, because very close to the pole the magnetic field strength or magnetic flux is very magnetic magnetic flux density is very high. Okay, now if it go away, the magnetic field is decreasing. So if this bar magnet is moving toward the coil or it moves away from the coil, in both the cases there is change in magnetic flux. It may be increasing or decreasing, it depends on the practical situation. Okay, but here we are taking an example, but it can be increased if north pole is here and it is moving toward the coil, and it can be decreased if it move away from this coil. So now the direction of induced current in this loop is such that it opposes the change in magnetic flux. That is the cause behind the production of the magnetic flux. Now this flux is changes due to the motion of this magnet. So this induced EMF try to stop the magnet. Okay, if magnet is stopped, then V is 0. Then magnetic field lines passing through the surface area is constant, it is not changing. And if the magnetic field lines passing through the area is not changing, that means the magnetic field is constant, and in that case so let's see here the second point. Cause of this induced current is approach of north pole and therefore to opposes the cause, that is to repel the approaching north pole. The induced current in the loop is in such a direction so that the front face of the loop behaves as a north pole, and therefore induced current as seen by observer O is in anti-clockwise direction. So if this north pole is moving toward this one, the front side of this loop must behave as a north pole. Okay, and the next side, that is the second one side must behave as a south pole. Okay. Third point, if loop is free to move, the cause of induced EMF in the coil can also be termed as relative motion. So if loop is free to move move the cause of induced EMF in the coil can also be termed as relative motion. So you can say the relative motion if coil is in rest and this bar magnet is moving towards the coil, or you can say if this coil is moving towards the bar magnet, or both of them are moving such that there is change in flux through this closed circuit. So if there is change in flux between in this closed loop, you can say this is the relative motion. Therefore, to oppose the cause, the relative motion between the approaching magnet and loop should be opposed. Okay. For this, the loop will itself start moving in the direction of motion of the magnet. So if you free this loop, it must move in the same direction of the motion of this magnet to oppose the change in flux passing through this loop, because this is the Lenz law. Lenz law say that the direction of induced EMF or current is such that it always opposes the cause by which magnetic flux is changing, or you can say relative motion between bar magnet and this closed loop. Okay. Fourth point, it is important to remember that whenever cause of induced EMF is relative motion, the new motion is always in the direction of motion of cause. So this one is very important. It is important to remember that whenever cause of induced EMF is relative motion, the new motion is always in the direction of motion of the cause. So this one is very simple. You can see here the cause of the change in magnetic flux is motion of this magnet toward this coil. So this coil must be flowing through this bar magnet to, if you want to change in magnetic flux, and it should be moved away. It means away with the same velocity of the bar magnet to maintain same amount of flux. It means to oppose the change. Now you can see a table on your screen. This table will explain you the things very clearly. So you can see a table for the relative motion between magnet and the coil. So you can see the position of the magnet. This one is the observer and this one is the coil. This one is position of magnet. So direction of induced current in this case is anti-clockwise direction, because this coil is moving toward this coil. This magnet is moving toward the coil. It means the front face of this coil becomes the north one. So this direction becomes anti-clockwise. Second, if this one is moving away from this closed loop, in that case the front face of this coil behaves as a south pole and the current is in clockwise direction. Okay. Third point, again the bar magnet is moving towards the coil, but this time the south pole is in front. So you can see the current is in clockwise direction here, and the last one is anti-clockwise. When this bar magnet moving away such that the south pole is moving away from the loop, then the loop behaves as north pole in the front phase, you can see here. Now we are going to understand the behavior of phase of the coil. So as a north pole, here it behaves like a north pole, here this behaves like a south pole, here it behaves like a south pole, and then north pole. Type of magnetic force opposed. First one is repulsive force, third one is attractive force, fourth one is repulsive force, fourth one is attractive force. So you can see here types of magnetic forces opposed. Repulsive force, here this N and N, so there is repulsion, so these two are repelled to each other. Attractive force, because this south and this north are opposite in nature, so there is attractive force here, south and south pole, so this one is also repulsive force. And in last one, attractive. Okay, magnetic field link with the coil and its progress as viewed from left. So cross increases, it means it is passing through the plane of paper perpendicularly. क्रॉस डिक्रीजेस, यहाँ पे मैग्नेटिक फील्ड इंक्रीज है, क्रॉस डिक्रीज करेगा. डॉट इंक्रीजेस, डॉट्स डिक्रीजेस. So students, I hope you understand this table. Okay, this table is very important to understand the direction of the current. For any doubt you can discuss about this table, and it will help you to understand the direction of current in different circuits, and you will be able to find out the direction of induced EMF. Okay, so try to use this table in your applications and to understand the direction of current in a circuit. Thank you for watching this session.